What an awesome evening setting that you guys see behind me. I'm sitting just enjoying this evening with great weather. And I wanted to talk to you about our personal growth and our personal formation, how we're developed over time and over years. And one of the great examples that I can use is the actual formation of a diamond. Diamonds, before we see them in their purest form of their beauty, of their value and worth, they're formed under much heat, under much pressure, and over long thousands of years, and through even volcanic eruption, they come up to the surface. And eventually, even when they're dug up, when you look at them, they look like these rugged, ugly looking stones, until you have an expert diamond cutter who cuts them, who shines them, and then we pay a lot of money for them. How would I know? Because I got my wife an engagement many years ago when I proposed to her. And I just wanted to kind of have this nice evening setting where you hear the crickets in the background, cars driving, talk about our personal growth. And it's not an overnight thing. And if I can share a few personal things about my personal life, is that I had much setbacks as I was growing through life, as I was, had my first job, second job, friends, different connections, things falling through, people betraying me, people, taking advantage of me, not paying me enough, through my different work career that I had, through different jobs, the actual owner or the manager or the person that I worked for, they saw my leadership ability, they saw the gifting in my personal life. And even though they recognized it in the beginning, they took advantage of it, and they would underpay me, use me as, some of these jobs I work for, they would verbally abuse me and talk, negative things about me, and so on and so forth. And, obviously going through this whole process, there have been moments I'm like, really? Do I really need this? I mean, why do I have to go through certain hardships? Why do people have to stab me in the back? Why do people have to use me? Why am I being underpaid? Why are people taking advantage of me? I just want to serve them. I just want to work hard. I just want to, make an honest living. I just want to be a person of truth, a person of integrity, and one end it seemed like, I was like pitying myself. But on the other aspect, I was just evaluating, my environment. I was evaluating, people in my life, friends in my life, my associations, and I would, become discouraged. I would say, being a person of faith, I would complain to God, like, why is crap happening to me? Why people keep on backstabbing me? Why people taking advantage of me? But you know what? As soon as I began to be honest with myself, I began to, as soon as I began to listen to the right people, as soon as I began to read the right books, as soon as I began to have the right mental attitude, the right heart attitude, I said, you know what, I'm not the only one. Because at times it felt like I was the only one that's being betrayed. I was the only one that's being taken advantage of. But as soon as I began to dig deep inside of myself to discover my potential, to discover my identity, to discover my purpose upon this earth, to discover and understand, what are my gifts, what are the tools do I have? What skills do I have? What value can I add to others? And one of those areas was actually becoming like a coach and a mentor to others. It's my early years of discovering my leadership abilities. And I remember when I started washing dishes for this one restaurant at a very young age, at age 13. I don't think it was legal back then, but anyway, it was under the table. And I started working my way up through that restaurant. Then I switched over to preparing the food, helping out in the kitchen. It was an Italian restaurant, and that was making pizzas and things of that nature. And what I noticed was, because of my hard work ethic, because of my integrity, because of me not being a complainer. Maybe I complain here and there, but just me staying focused, being positive, I kind of worked my way up. And believe it or not, at around age 16, I became a manager of that restaurant at age 16. As I'm making this video recording, my son is 16 years old, and he currently doesn't have a job. We're actually working on it. And I would remind him, I'm like, hey, Justin, you said, do you remember at what age I became a manager? He's like, yeah, Papa, don't tell me about it. I don't want to hear about it. Now, for some of you, that might be a surprise, but for me, it wasn't, because I started to have the different perspective for myself. I started to look at life differently, and I can tell you many stories that when I switched over to another job, they saw the potential in me, and they started grooming me for a manager's position, even though I was like one of the youngest in the whole warehouse company. It was a humongous distribution center. Then I moved on to another work opportunity, to another, and this particular gift and the skill that I had, I kept on working on it. I kept on cultivating it. I kept on exercising that leadership muscle more and more. And what I began to discover is that maybe in my early years of life, it seemed like, why are people taking advantage of me? Why are people using me, abusing me, and not paying me enough, and etc. It was just me being that diamond that was just being formed under different pressure. It was me as a diamond that was, as I was facing this opposition from other people, where people, were not valuing me as much as they were, and that's fine. Why should anybody value a piece of rock when it looks like a rock? And that's how diamonds in the rough, they look like a rugged, ugly looking rock. So what I wanted to, encourage you, my friend, with this is all of us, we have our own personal life story. As somebody said that, all of us are like authors of our own book. But what we write into our own book will depend upon you and I. And the thoughts that I want to continue with this is that our personal life, it's in stages. Our growth is in stages. Our value, it's in stages. You can't just all of a sudden say, hey guys, here I am, Stan arrived, hire me, and here's my, what you need to pay me, and this is what I want to do. It doesn't work like that. And for those people who are just trying to focus on luck and chance, well, God bless you. A small, extremely 0.00001% by chance, will get lucky. But on the most part, that if you truly want to discover your value and worth, you have to allow much opposition, like in the form of that heat and that lava and that magnet that keeps on putting that pressure upon that rock, which eventually comes to the surface, and we call it right now as a diamond. That if you truly want to become that person of value, first of all, you need to value yourself. First of all, you need to think positive about yourself. First of all, you need to have a reality check with yourself. You need to look into your own mirror and say, you know what? I believe that I have certain value. I believe that God has given me certain gifts, certain abilities, certain skills. And you know what? As I begin to discover them, I'm going to begin to groom them. I'm going to begin to, as the diamond cutter cuts off those rugged, rough edges to make the diamond into a perfect cut stone, excuse me, and make it very valuable. Same thing here. All of these different life circumstances, the people who maybe will hurt us or wrong us or take advantage of us, don't worry, it's just your diamond being cut and shaped. All the problems, all the circumstances you face in your life, all the setbacks, again, it's just your diamond being polished and being formed. So I want to encourage you, my friend, that do not give up. Fight the good fight. Stay upon that path where you feel that you need to be upon, because in order for others to discover that value and the worth in you, in order for others to see that potential in you, in order for others to see that skill, those abilities in you, you have to first of all see it in yourself. Even though in the beginning people may not see it, that's okay. Stand upon that path. Keep on doing what your heart tells you to do. Keep on doing, as I like to say, discover your passion. Discover the things that excite you, the things that motivate you. And as you begin to move and operate in that, and I've had people tell me many times, wow, Stan, you have this natural gift of speaking, of coaching people, of mentoring people. You have no fear of the stage. Well, I don't know about that, my friend, because back in the day, if there was more than 2 or 3 people and I had to talk in front of them, no way. I flunked, honestly, believe it or not, I flunked every oral report that I had to do in school. In high school, maybe I've done them. I'm talking about middle school, elementary. No way. I was always afraid of people. But what I was afraid of, what I was trying to hide and run away from, was actually one of the skills, one of the abilities that I had in my personal life. And as soon as I began to discover that, personally, by other people telling me through different opportunities, through my work career, I began to work upon them. It's like the diamond kept on being polished and polished. So as I conclude this, my friends, I want to once again encourage you that it doesn't matter what you may be facing in your personal life. It doesn't matter what struggles you have went through and the struggles that you may be facing right now or you'll go through in your future life. Always understand that our personal growth and our personal development, wherever it may be, it will take time. Just like when you're studying in college or university for a specific career path, for a specific degree, to obtain certain knowledge, it will take a little time. And once you get that education, well, now you have to put it into practice. So our whole life, you have to be a student for the rest of your life. A student for the rest of your life. As I'm making this recording, I'm already age 40. Sure, I'm not afraid to say that, because some people are like, well, I don't want to talk about, my age and many different things, because that's making you vulnerable. Well, that's the whole point. I have no problem with my identity. Not right now. Maybe in my earlier years of life as a teenager, I had a problem with identity, because many people, they go through identity crisis. But in this stage of my life, I don't. And where I have weaknesses, no problem. I'll talk about them. If people want to keep on poking me, in those areas that still bother me, that means those are the areas I still need to improve. So my friend, understand that our life, it is like a journey, and it's an adventure. And as I mentioned before, that you are an author of your own life. And what you put into the chapters of your book will depend upon you. But as you're writing this content in your book of life, people all around you, they're gonna, whether they're critics, whatever, I guess you could consider them as manuscript editors, where they're going to be adding tweaks and turns, as being a publisher myself, and as I hire manuscript editors and they edit the books, I'm like, oh, what do you mean? I know what I was talking about there. Well, sentence fragment. I should have used another word that had a greater meaning in it. So do not run away from problems. Do not run away from obstacles. Sure, there are toxic people we need to stay away from. But no matter what situation you may be in right now, my friend, that if it's making you uncomfortable, when you have the right heart and mental attitude, it's going to keep on forming you. Just like that heat and that pressure that keeps on forming that rugged, ugly looking rock, while inside of it is actually valuable diamond. So be a diamond, my friend. Until next time.